welcome to another installment of Daleks Aren't Robots. I was going to do the Dalek voice again, but then saw Kari's face and thought better. But my name is still Josh.
Hello,
That is Kari.
that's me.
Hello.
That's Justin.
I am not a Robo-Man.
And that's Zach. Okay, Zach and I are Whovians. Kari and Justin are lesser Whovians. We're hooking them in. We're getting them in there. But we're doing so by going through all of Doctor Who and putting it on the internet. And today, we're now covering the second Peter Cushing Doctor Who movie. Let me just get the title up here. There are actually two titles for this one, and both of them are frustrating to say. There's Daleks Invasion of Earth Daleks Invasion.
The marketers failed. They failed.
Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD.
Yes, Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD, or Daleks hyphen Invasion Earth. Daleks hyphen Invasion Earth 2150 AD.
That's one of the worst title fails I've ever heard.
If I ever get a time machine, I am going back in time and murdering whoever came up with that title.
You should see the trailer.
It's an adaptation of the Doctor Who serial Dalek Invasion of Earth, which we covered previously, and now we're covering the movie. Justin, do you want to summarize what happened in this movie?
It's pretty much the same story-wise.
Pretty much.
There are a couple of differences. There's no Ian or Barbara.
No.
They are replaced by Louise, who is was niece?
Niece.
Was it the niece of the Doctor? Because he is Doctor Who in this.
He is Doctor Who.
Yes, he is.
That is the character's name in this.
And Ian was replaced by
Ian number 5.
Tom,
who is a policeman. They kind of pick him up at the start after he tries to foil a burglary.
A burglary set to Bach music.
Yeah, like they say, okay, well, we'll take you back to London, but then they end up in 2150.
Yeah.
They pretty much go through the same storyline. There's a few beats that are different.
Yeah.
In this, there's no scene on Tatooine early where, Luke and Biggs Darklighter are reunited at Anchorhead. They took that out. But
Optimus Prime doesn't die either.
yeah, that was weird.
Made the whole rest of the movie make no sense.
It just doesn't hold together. Anyway, there's a few changes here and there, mostly due to the fact that Susan is a little girl
Yeah.
Yes.
in these movies.
Yep.
So there's no weird romance arc with her.
Oh,
Which is
yeah,
good.
that was such a relief.
David in this, as a consequence, was actually a little bit more of a character.
Very
A
little.
little bit. They gave him a little bit more to do.
He's way more likable, though.
Most of Susan's interactions were with the old guy. I can't remember his name.
Wyler.
But the guy who was basically keeping her safe through most of the movie.
Rocked some awesome sideburns.
He knew how to dress, too. For somebody who was living through a robot holocaust, he was rocking it.
Awesome old fisherman guy.
The last big change that really comes to the movie is how they defeat the Daleks, which is...
And the Daleks plan.
Fucking magnets! How do they work?
I'm not sure if the Daleks plan has changed because they run through it so quick. When I looked up all the Wikipedias, they said it was the same plan, but I could have sworn I heard something about them talking about how the Daleks were going to send the Earth into the sun for some reason.
I think
Yeah.
they were ejecting the core into the
Right.
sun.
And they
Okay.
did mention what the point of that was. They were going to use the Earth as a spaceship to go back to
Mhm.
Skaro and occupy that.
Yeah.
Don't they already occupy Skaro?
And if they don't, why don't they just take their spaceships back?
Yeah, why do you need a planet?
Like, the Earth isn't made out of guns.
The plan still makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then magnets save the day.
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
Yeah.
This doctor has less care about what magnets actually do than Magneto does.
Yeah.
This.
But yeah, then it ends and they put Tom back.
Yeah, a little earlier, so he
Ian
can...
number 5. And they're on the lookout for Ian number 6.
Yeah.
Mostly because
Yeah.
I'm convinced between the two movies there were, like another 4 Ians. That
Do
Probably.
we want to know how many Barbaras there were?
no.
They don't really do anything in the movies, so it doesn't matter.
Not really.
Yeah.
No. Let's do this bit by bit. We have our main characters, and we should start with the Doctor.
He's still the nicest, kindest,
Yeah.
gentlest doctor. He still adores his niece. He's still really, really smart, but he's not an arrogant jerk about it, which means that you actually feel really bad for him when he beats the escape room. He beats
Yeah.
the Dalek escape room, and then he gets caught.
And Peter Cushing has played him a bit more absent-minded in this
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes he
Yeah.
fails to grasp that other people are failing to grasp what he's saying, which is kind of funny.
one. And there was the whole thing with Susan's message.
Yes.
Yeah.
And him
Yes.
just missing this giant message written on the wall.
And then Susan just knowing that he might miss it.
Yeah.
Susan's just like, yeah, Grandpa's probably not going to get that.
At one point, Peter Cushing there was going to be more with him in the film, but they had to rewrite because right at the start of filming, he got really ill. So they had to rewrite a lot of the movie and cut him out of more of the scenes.
Well, at least they didn't bounce him on the ground, I guess. Jeez.
Generally, I think this Doctor is virtually the same, but there's a little less of him, and he's just not as...
Yeah.
Frankly, I didn't find him as fun to watch as I did in the
No.
last movie.
He just didn't have that much to do.
No.
Honestly.
He's just kind of there.
Like, especially in the last half when he's just with David when they
And
wander off.
honestly, I feel like some of that could come from him being ill and not
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
He gets the nice big speech at the end, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even the title character anymore.
No, the Daleks are the title character.
Look, you gotta market what's popular.
Yep.
Susan, I think, is actually really good in this movie.
It was
Yeah.
so nice to see this without the Susan is leaving baggage.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
really messed up the show, I think.
Also, Roberta Tovey does a good job as a
She is
Child
so
Susan.
cute,
Yeah.
and she's
It's very hard to get a kid to play that kid genius role and not to be obnoxious.
Yeah.
And she is pretty
she's
good.
smart, but she's still a kid. She does like silly
Yeah.
kid things that get her into trouble, like kicking the thing that causes the rubble to fall. At one point, she says "boo" to Wyler while they are evading the Daleks,
Yeah.
but
This.
like she's also super sweet.
Yeah.
She apologizes about the boo thing right away, and she also got a towel
Yeah.
for him when he was washing his face after he came back from the battle with the Daleks where everybody else died. She has good chemistry with the Doctor, and she also had really great chemistry, I thought, with Wyler.
Yeah.
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 I do find it kind of interesting that Susan ended up getting all of the Barbara scenes. Now it's her in the truck. They ram into the Daleks, and it's her with the old women later. So our Barbara stand-in Louise is basically given absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah, she really doesn't do anything. I really thought at first that they were going to pair her off with Tom.
Yeah, that's what I
Or
thought.
even maybe David, or even like a love triangle thing, but they didn't even do that.
No.
That was the intention, but they kind of dropped that for reasons I can't find.
Huh. I'm surprised that they even kept the part.
She really didn't do
No.
anything. She was pretty and she had a cool jacket.
She did have a very
Yeah.
cool jacket.
Yeah.
Those boots were terrible, though.
The actress really liked the jacket. She called it a Sherlock Holmes coat,
Yeah.
and she did really like the boots.
Boots don't match.
She actually apparently kept.
They're not bad,
No.
but they don't match.
Well, maybe she paired them with different outfits.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The last of the main characters to really talk about is Tom.
I liked him.
Yeah.
I liked Ian number 5.
He's a lot of fun. It's interesting that he's very different from both versions of Ian that
He
we've
is.
seen.
He is definitely not Ian.
No.
He is, like, despite me joking and saying he's Ian number 5. The actor did a lot of physical comedy.
He did, but it wasn't
Yeah.
so over the top like the Ian from the other
No,
movie.
it was pretty good.
No.
Of course, new Who fans might recognize this actor's ability to do physical comedy because he plays Donna Noble's grandfather in season 4 of the new Who show.
Huh. So we'll see him again.
We will.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of makes me happy because I did
Yeah, I
like
remember
him.
him from End of Time. And I actually did like him in that. He was good in that
Yeah.
too. So
Tom is also like a good guy. He's pretty brave.
yeah, he is.
He grabs Susan when there's that avalanche right at the beginning
Yeah.
and rescues her.
Which I have to say, this Suze, she seemed to deliberately set off the.
This
That was a
Haven't
deliberate.
you ever
stab.
like kicked something or done something really stupid as a kid?
Yeah.
I've been there.
I mean, I'll excuse it. You watch that scene. It's a very.
she's 6. She's just figuring out what would happen.
Well, she's not 6. She's probably 10, but
Okay.
I'll also bring up, while they did have stunt doubles and everything, they had that for everyone except for Susan, because hard to get a stunt double for a
Yeah.
12-year-old. The big stunt there was the car driving scene. They were going pretty fast down roads without seatbelts, and she said that she was constantly worried that she was going to fly out the
it
side
really
of the
looked
car.
like they were going to have an actual accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently they were going like 80
Well,
miles
if
per
you
hour
look
or
at it, there's a
something.
point in which they turn in a very muddy area and they slip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They
they did.
genuinely slid.
Okay, I get that we can't do like a stunt child. They don't really train those, but we couldn't get like a dummy to just put in the seat.
A very short person.
Yeah.
There are short people.
Someone call Warwick
that is
Davis
true.
and get him in a wig. Although it's 1966, I don't think Warwick Davis is born yet.
Doctor Who is still trying to kill all of its actors, I guess.
I might also mention that the stunt guy who was driving may have been driving with a broken ankle, depending on when this took place.
What?
Yeah.
The show was killing everybody. Okay, all right. But yeah, Tom is pretty cool. I like that slapstick physical comedy thing with him where he pretended to be a Robo-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
He wasn't playing it so broad that it looked like it was, oh, I'm being funny.
Yeah, he wasn't like being over the top with it.
Yeah.
He looked stressed out,
True.
like he was actually trying to keep up. It was funny. It was very funny.
It actually worked because like he wasn't playing it for
Yeah.
Right.
He looked like he was genuinely scared of getting caught.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I guess we'll go to side people. And since we already mentioned him, let's talk about that stunt actor who played Wyler. Was he Wyler or was he
Wyler.
Well, he was the stunt guy for Wyler in that, but no, he didn't.
Oh,
He didn't
okay.
play a character.
Okay.
Wyler.
But he was the stunt guy for it sounds like pretty much everybody.
So what happened to him? What's the deal?
He was the stunt coordinator. His name was Eddie Powell. He's most well known for being a stunt double for Christopher Lee and being the guy who did the motion for the alien in Alien.
Oh.
So that's a big name.
He was the stunt guy for the alien because there were two people who played the alien in Alien.
Yeah, I know there was one guy who was the guy in the suit.
Yeah.
He was an athlete,
Yeah.
I recall.
Yeah, they had him, and when it was too dangerous, they brought in like the stunt alien, who was this guy.
Still, that's kind of an important job.
Yeah.
But in this, you remember the guy who fell?
Oh yeah, the guy who tried to escape the Daleks, ran up into the second floor of a building, was shot by, I think, a Robo-Man, and then fell through the ceiling onto a pile of bricks.
Yep.
Scrambled up and tried to keep running away and then immediately died.
Well, when he fell, he broke his ankle, and that whole scramble, he's doing that with a broken ankle in intense pain, and then they had to stop and send him to hospital because he couldn't play dead long enough because he was in too much pain.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looked really realistic, and now I know why.
It wouldn't be Dalek Invasion of Earth if somebody wasn't endangered or in great physical pain.
God. At least they sent him to the damn hospital and he didn't have to get his lawyer on the case.
BBC wasn't making that alone. There were other companies there to make sure BBC wasn't trying to kill people.
They weren't making it at all.
Yeah, so that's the difference.
He got back, and in one frame, you can see the cast when he's lying dead.
Oh, I didn't notice it. Not even on the second watch through, so.
Good work, editors.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate to think of that scrambling on a pile of brick, though, with a broken ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently part of the set had been built wrong. Like he was supposed to come down gently on the awning and not go straight through
he
it.
did not. He fell straight through that thing.
That was not what was supposed to happen.
So let's start
Dortmund is David Boreanaz now.
Yeah.
He looks like a 1960s David Boreanaz.
It's the hair. He had some really good hair.
He's got angel hair.
He's got like this really thick mop of brown hair.
It's amazing. And also, I have to talk about him because I have to apologize because I totally called him wheelchair guy the last time, which on reflection is super ableist and kind of shitty. I apologize for doing that. I'm super face blind and I usually just pick out the most obvious physical characteristic of whatever character and call them by that. But in this case, super ableist, shouldn't have done that. Sorry.
Well, now we can just call him David Boreanaz.
Yeah, and now we're just going to call him David Boreanaz.
So Dortmund Boreanaz.
Yes, he's really cool in this one. His speeches are shorter. They're actually inspiring and not just Debbie Downer stuff. His bombs work really well against Robo-Man, although not against Daleks still.
No.
And when he sacrifices himself, he takes a whole bunch of Daleks with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dortmund, way better.
Dortmund, I would say, is the one character of the supporting cast who got a lot better in the transition.
A lot better.
Most of them, I would argue, not as good. Maybe
Well, see,
David.
I think they're
maybe
better.
David.
Weiler,
Yeah,
I think
I liked
definitely.
Weiler a
Yeah.
lot too. He was Tyler before, and I explicitly said I didn't
Yeah.
care about him because I didn't.
Yeah.
But Weiler is gruff and pessimistic, and he's kind of scary when he comes at the beginning and he barks at Louise.
The big difference in this, I think, is that they put him into a very protective role in this.
Yeah.
Right, and that made a
He's
big
the one
difference.
looking out for Susan for most of the movie.
The other thing I think helps is Weiler is played by an older actor than the guy who was playing Tyler. So there's a bit
Right.
more of that gruffness and roughness to him.
Yeah.
Exactly. I almost thought that they missed the curmudgeon-y part of the Doctor, and so they just split him into this character, kind of. Because he's
Yeah.
also paired with Susan a lot, and he even
Yeah.
shields her with his body when the Daleks use a photon torpedo on a van.
To be fair, they do that in the serial. They just don't have the effects to actually show it.
They have photon torpedoes. I'm just saying that's really awesome. Anyway, at the end, I like Weiler enough so that I almost wish that they would bring him with them.
They could use a new Ian.
Yeah, I thought David was also an improvement. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he's way more charismatic. You actually at least got an impression that he had a personality. He was very quiet, but he was also really insistent on saving people. There were a couple of times where Weiler or somebody else said, no, that's too dangerous. And he said, no, I'm going to save that person.
He kind of got paired with the Doctor for most of the things. So he spends most of his time just asking questions for the Doctor to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not great, but he had enough charisma that part actually worked.
Also, they gave him the Philip thing where he gets in a fight with a Robo-Man and gets killed.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter quite as much.
Yeah.
No, it definitely lacked that emotional impact.
Most notably, we have a loss of Philip, and I don't remember her name, so we're just going to call her Blondie like we did before.
I think it was actually Jenny, but yeah, Blondie.
Jenny, yeah. Both of them have been cut from the story. What little they did was given to other parts, which on the one hand is kind of nice. On the other hand, at least in Philip's case, I miss his storyline a little bit.
They didn't have as much time.
No.
Yeah.
There are some other little people changes too, like the two women that betrayed the party.
Yeah.
Instead of having it be Barbara and Blondie, two fully functional adult women, they betray Susan and Weiler. So they betray a small child and a man who is wounded pretty badly enough to limp at that point. And then they laugh smugly about it afterwards.
Yeah.
In the serial, the two old women come across not as evil, but desperate. Here, they're basically witches.
They're evil.
Well, they wanted to go to the mines anyway.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ.
I just wanted to add that we have seen the older lady before.
Oh, she's the cave woman, isn't she?
Yes.
I recognized her
is.
right when you said that. I'm like, oh my God, I know who that is.
She has very distinctive eyes.
Yes, she does.
She betrayed them because she was worried they would make fire. That's it. All comes back to fire.
It always does.
Fucking
It always
fire. How does that work? Okay, so the war profiteer, the black marketer guy, he is not eaten by the Slither because there isn't a Slither in this one. Minus 10 points, 2 thumbs down, worst Doctor Who movie ever.
I think he does still get killed though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is exploded by the Daleks.
So that is
after he betrays the Doctor.
cool.
He is blown.
Yeah.
Up.
The Daleks blow up a shack with fire extinguishers.
And he has the best oh shit face when he realizes what's about to happen. So you know what? That's pretty awesome.
They blew up the shack with fire extinguishers. I would say that's the opposite of fire extinguishers.
Well, they said that they were inflammable.
They didn't know what that meant.
I will say the Black Marketeer also comes across a lot more evil in this one than the Black Marketeer.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
he
very
does.
scummy.
The Black Marketeer in the serial is a crook, but he's a Quark style crook. You know, he's only doing it because he knows he'll get money off you and he has some level of standards.
This guy offers a can of food and then kicks it into the dirt.
Yeah, wasting it.
Yeah, no, this guy's just a dick.
Yeah, he deserves to be exploded, and he absolutely
And
is.
it's so very satisfying.
It really is. It was great.
I'm not usually a fan of boulderizing morally gray characters to be evil, but if you're gonna blow them up like that, then you know what? I'm all for
You
it.
better be
Yeah,
evil.
that was awesome.
No problems with that. We should talk about the Daleks.
We
though.
should talk about the Daleks.
They're not Nazis.
No. Also not robots. Hey.
No, they're not.
And now they're
They're definitely still the bad guys, but they're not the Nazis anymore. It seems like the Nazi stuff got taken out for the movie, maybe to make it more child friendly.
Which is interesting because when they did the adaptation of the Daleks, they put Nazi stuff in that the original serial didn't have. But this one, they take out a lot of the Nazi stuff.
Yeah, and there's not that gritty, oppressive atmosphere anymore either. And they got rid of almost all of the location-based stuff, except the Battersea. The Battersea, I think, is still in there, right?
That is, but no one was at. Like,
no, that was
just
like a
an
still photo
image.
that had been doctored, I think. I'm assuming.
Yeah, there was almost no location shooting.
Yeah, I did miss that.
On the one hand, I guess it's in a way more tonally consistent than the serial was, but the darker tone and oppressive atmosphere was what really hooked me into that story. So now it's all camp, which is fun, but I do feel like we lost something there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I will say, though, I do love that we have color Daleks again. They are adorable.
Yeah.
Red and black and silvery.
And some of them have the clamps instead of the plungers.
Oh, yeah, the clamp ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have the little satellite TV dishes anymore, though, so I guess
No.
they get cable now. I don't
Yeah.
know. But they do have hover skirts like Tom Servo, so that's an upgrade, maybe? I don't know.
They could still be manhandled and rolled down a ramp.
Yeah.
Yes, people
Yes.
always talk about Daleks and stairs, but like a ramp totally murders a Dalek in this
Like, it wasn't
one.
even a steep ramp.
No.
It was maybe a 20-degree angle.
It was their ramp.
And then it fell over and exploded. Apparently, Daleks are made of nitroglycerin.
Yeah.
So hard. And then
Yes.
at the end, a Dalek is thwarted by putting a tarp over it. Like
Yeah.
it's an upset
Yeah.
hawk.
I cannot see. I cannot
Yeah,
see.
like what? Did it calm down like a bird?
When did it become
What?
night?
Yes. So you don't even need stairs, man. You could just bring a ramp.
Talking about the Dalek design, we of course need to mention that we've brought back the incel Daleks because they do have blue balls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Zach, care to enlighten us as to why Daleks are blue balled?
The main story for Raymond Cusick designing the Daleks originally was based on moving a pepper pot across a table.
And what's a pepper pot for those of us who are not English?
It's basically a pepper shaker made of like clay or porcelain.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So a pepper shaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense. I mean, they look like that.
They do.
But he was also inspired, and I'll have pictures on the website, by a weird looking flue on top of a girls' school. And it does have blue rings on it. I will share the picture in the chat. Hold on.
What was he doing looking at the chimneys on a girls' school?
Let's be real. That's the least creepy thing he could be looking at on a girls' school.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, I suppose. Huh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, they do kind of look like Daleks. Oh, that's cute. It'd be super tempting to, like, just paint eyeballs on it, wouldn't it? Or give it a little whisk.
Just
I think more likely than him just staring at it, he was probably passing by and
Oh,
was
yeah,
I'm
relatively
sure.
noticeable.
It's pretty prominent.
one thing I do need to mention, the producers of this movie clearly knew that the Daleks were the point of interest for people coming into this movie because there are so many shots that just linger on the Daleks.
Yeah.
Too many, one might say.
Long ass takes of following the Daleks.
Up and down ramps.
Long one shots of just following them around what looks like a ready-made toy playset.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. Pretty much one of the first things they filmed was that big spaceship battle. And the director was like, wait, because of how we shot this, we barely saw the Daleks. We just saw them fighting Robomen. So we need to squeeze Daleks into every other possible shot we have in the movie. Because this movie's about Daleks.
So we'll take a one-take shot of the Daleks going around ramps inside their ship for like
They
10
changed it
minutes.
to- yes.
I also want to mention that one long take involves two Daleks talking. One Dalek breaks off, joins another Dalek to talk as they
Wait, isn't it
exposit
Dalek
stuff.
talk?
The Daleks invented the Sorkin walk and talk.
Yeah, it's a walk and talk.
Oh,
Sorkin
God,
was
you're
5
right.
years old, and they invented the walk and talk.
Wait, is Aaron Sorkin a Dalek?
Yes.
Suddenly, it all makes sense.
That's why his characters don't talk like people.
Because they're not.
Yeah.
I do want to just point out, I own every season of The West Wing on DVD, so
I'm not saying he's not a good writer. I'm saying his characters don't talk like people. That's
They-
not
they don't.
necessarily a bad thing
They
because
don't.
people are stupid.
yeah.
not saying that he's not a good writer. We're just saying he's also a Dalek.
Yes.
I just wanted to put that out there before the Sorkin heads jump on us. All right.
Fair enough.
We mentioned the Robo-Men. Wow. Okay, so
Why are they wearing motorcycle gimp suits?
There's a lot going on with the Robo
like,
Men.
remember how we were talking about the Robo-Men in the serial last episode? And we said that they were a cool concept, but they looked silly because they were just guys in hats. Well, the movie doubled down and made them as ridiculous as they could possibly look.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, they could have given him antennas or
We're
something.
really far
Yeah.
from Terry Nation's original idea for them.
What, you mean his original idea wasn't a motorcycle gimp suit and a motorcycle helmet?
His idea wasn't even the helmet that they had in the serial.
What was it?
It was like a metal disc on the temple with some wires coming off it.
So
Hmm.
kind of more Borg-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
I think what happened is they couldn't make it look good on camera.
Yeah.
Fair.
So they did this?
This was at least more recognizable, probably.
As things have progressed, the Robo-Men have now evolved into their natural state of biker leather daddies.
The Daleks have some weird fetishes, okay?
We're not going to king shame on this show.
They basically just look like background characters from the app,
Yeah.
They did look like
They
background
really
characters from the Apple.
do.
which, if you haven't seen it, is an amazingly horrible
Yes.
musical from the 80s. You can find it pretty much everywhere. You should go watch it. It's great.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
I feel like we could actually just create a David Letterman style top 10 of all the things that these Roman look like, because to me, they kind of look like the cheap knockoff versions of the Spaceballs.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. I just think in general that they don't really look like much of anything, so they look like a
Yes.
lot of things.
And I couldn't find out why, but they're all guys.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that for some reason. Why are they all men? Are the Daleks sexist?
I'm not sure about this, but I think in the serial, we saw more women in the mines than men.
So do all of them just go in the mines?
I mean, I think what happened is they had more male actors than female actors, but
Yeah, and they probably just recycled other actors,
Yeah.
other extras that they were using for like
I
the
think
mine
we're just
scenes
too
and
smart to
whatever.
fall for the escape room.
yeah, that could be it.
That could be.
I kind of balk at the idea of the Daleks being sexist just because I don't believe the Daleks would recognize sex.
Yeah, I don't see them.
I don't
seeing
think
that
they'd
either.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do want to say though that I do love that the Robo-Man-ifying process apparently involves welding some mirrored sunglasses to your face.
Yeah,
And we did see part of their sad, sad Robo-Man lives. They eat pills off of sad little plates and they sleep sitting up like sad little sad people. It's not good to be a Robo-Man, you guys.
No.
It
no.
kind of sucks. Hey, I did have another question though. I noticed that they did not have a Robo-Man drowning at the beginning this time.
They did not.
Was it because of the complaints? Was it just cut for time?
Honestly, I think they may have just done it because this movie really decided to just commit to the silly tone more at the end of the serial than the larger, darker tone.
They did still have the whips.
Yeah.
also the movie did not start in the future
That's
like
true.
the serial did. The movie started
And
with Tom.
unfortunately, like no notes, the production of this movie have survived. So it's hard to know what they intended or why they changed certain things.
Fair enough.
But that would be my guess,
Yeah.
because the movie in general really seems to want to commit to campy, fun adventure and not so much what if the Nazis had conquered England.
Fair.
Which, you know, they committed, which of course also means that everything the serial did, this movie did bigger. Barbara runs over one Dalek. Fuck it. We're going to go on a Dalek rampage in this minivan. Smash all the Daleks. We're going to play Dalek bowling.
Yeah, there's another great toy.
I'd buy one.
Dalek
Yeah.
bowling.
Dortmund dies getting shot by Daleks in the last one. Fuck it. He's going to bring a building down on himself here, which I will say was pretty badass.
It was. He was great. Long live Dortmund.
I still think that Mun Chop guy could have saved him. There was a chance.
Nah, David Boreanaz. He knew it. Besides, he's a vampire. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about the new Dalek UFOs?
Oh, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
They were pretty cool.
They're totally different from the spinning pie plates that they
Yeah.
had in the previous
But
one.
they're still
But they're
unique.
wonderful. They're basically what Roombas would have looked like if they'd been invented in 1965.
In England, yeah.
Yes, they look a lot like my grandparents' old vacuum from the 60s.
It's got the fins that all those classic cars had.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I love that there are 2 spinning bits and they spin in opposite directions.
Yeah, because why not?
It looks great. I love it. Also, they have photon torpedoes.
I would buy that toy if I were a kid.
Oh my god, I would buy that toy and I would shoot my sibling.
I'm gonna disappoint you guys. As far as I could tell, that was never made into a toy.
What?
They got to get their shit together, you guys.
This isn't even the BBC. They made these movies explicitly to sell toys.
Yes, they made Dalek toys.
But they didn't make the spaceship.
No, as far as I can
What are
tell.
you supposed to play with your Daleks in?
Yeah, where are you going to put your Daleks? When I was a kid and they were selling Power Rangers, they sold the command center because you had to get the full set.
Squandering opportunities, man.
Yeah.
80s America really taught the world how to capitalize on this shit.
I have a super big question though. Like,
Uh-oh.
why are they going to 2150 London?
Well,
They never say anything. He shows up
No, they
and
actually
faints
don't.
on the ground, and then they're just like, well, I guess we'll take him
Well,
with. And it's like,
Peter Cushing saw another guy approaching the TARDIS, and he's just like, we gotta get out of here. So he just went to whenever.
really? I don't.
Kidnapped the cop and went to whenever.
Oh, yeah. It should be stated that Tom ran into it because he thought it was a police box.
Exactly. He was trying to get help. He didn't really get
Yeah.
abducted. He just fainted right there.
Yeah,
And
he just
then
walked in.
Peter
and-
Cushing,
and-
rather
yeah.
than deal with the situation that was going on, Doctor Who was just like, nope, we're out of here. Boom.
But see, here's the difference between Doctor Who and, like William Hartnell's Doctor. Tom would be dead.
Oh, yeah. He would have been out the airlock.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't even think he would have left. I think he would have just pushed him right out the door right there.
Yeah. It's like, nope.
Nope. I'm not dealing with this. Get
No,
lost.
Absolutely not. No. But why would you go to 2150 London? Why?
Because then there's no movie.
Yeah, I guess. Like, okay, fine.
I don't know if we ever established that he had control, though he does get back easily enough. So
Yeah, he has control over it to some
Yeah.
extent.
He just does. The movie legitimately does not care.
No, it really doesn't, and I probably shouldn't either. I did forget though when we were talking about the flying saucer, we didn't talk about the interior.
oh yeah.
Like they don't have the beautiful Easter candy aesthetic that was in the first movie, but there's some minty interiors
pink.
and there's some colorful, cool consoles still, and they do still use shower curtains.
Yeah, the Daleks still have a very fabulous sense of interior design.
They really do. It doesn't have that beautiful candy look to it though.
That's why they want to get back to Skaro.
Yeah.
To get their candy back, yeah.
Have you seen what these Earthlings use for interior design? We
Oh my
must
God.
piss off.
Yeah, this would have been during the modernist era and like brutalism and stuff, and the Daleks
Yeah.
are probably like, these people are monsters.
Before we jump to production, there's one scene that we've indicated at, but I don't think we've really described the batshit insanity that is this movie's ending.
Oh my God.
So, to recap for people who haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a while, the plan that they come up with to foil the Daleks involves sending the bomb down a different chute so it'll blow up the area that I guess is where the magnetic poles of the Earth meet.
Which is conveniently located in the middle of England.
In the middle of
Yep.
England. And so they do it, and this causes the Daleks to get sucked into it via moving at like 60 miles per hour through the walls. One Dalek crumples, another Dalek spins and goes flying over a banister.
Did you mention the dialect that Looney Tunes a hole in a wall?
Honestly, it's like they're piercings in an MRI machine, though. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just boom.
And all the while, like freaking 1960s comedy music is playing in the back.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's totally appropriate because it is
Yeah.
very funny.
Yes, it is.
It was very silly.
A couple of the dialect props got more beat up and damaged and broken in that scene than they intended.
I wondered
I'm
about
not
that. How
surprised.
many Daleks did they have?
They had 19, and
Oh my gosh.
only about 9 of them were hero props.
What's that mean?
They were the ones that they spent the most time on, and they were the ones that were less ramshackle.
The ones that are ready for
Yeah,
their
but-
close up.
Yeah, and some of them were from a stage show that had just happened. That's why some of them had pincers.
So wait, what you're saying is Daleks were harmed in the making of this movie?
Oh, a lot.
I'm sorry, are we really just gonna gloss over the the fact that he just said Daleks stage show?
Oh, I assumed that there would be one. It
There-
better be a musical, and it better have as many injuries
There
as
have been a
Spider-Man
lot
Take
of
Back the
Dalek
Night.
stage shows.
Oh, come on. You don't want to see a Dalek line dance? Because I sure do.
They can't do the kick step. They have no legs.
Humans, so limited.
I will say that I've listened to the Jubilee audio play where we do have Daleks singing.
That is
We all
horrifying.
heard Dalek singing last episode.
Ugh.
I personally feel that if we do not get Daleks on ice, then there is no point in having this franchise.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I mean, as long as there aren't any ramps, I think we're fine.
So yeah, things that we can account to Doctor Who science. The poles meet in a mine shaft in England.
Also, we do the same thing with sticks stopping.
Yeah, fortunately, you can stop
Yeah.
it all with a couple of sticks, so it's fine.
Yep.
These sticks don't just redirect it or jam it. The thing just slides as if it doesn't weigh nearly as much as it should.
It bounced.
It's so bounced.
What were these sticks made out of? These
I
are
don't
not your
know.
typical Earth sticks.
Tom moved them pretty easily. Maybe Tom
Yeah.
is Superman.
Ian number 5, man, he eats his Wheaties.
I guess.
He definitely pulled his weight.
He did. I liked him.
All right, so I guess we're moving on to production.
Why is Louise? Why? Why is Louise?
The only real answer I have is that they used the actress Jill Curzon in a lot of the publicity.
I guess we should share some of those pictures.
Uh-oh.
Will we be arrested if you share some of
No.
those pictures? Is
No,
that
Yeah.
no. Everyone in these pictures is over 18.
That's not comforting.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm worried. Oh my god, that is blatant false advertising. She is so completely clothed in this
Yes.
movie. She has like
Yeah.
15 layers of clothes on.
Most of what the actress had been known for before this had been like bikini shots and things.
Well, I mean, she's not a bad actress.
No.
She just didn't get a chance to do
Yeah.
anything. I felt kind of bad for her.
Yeah.
But I do not know where this Dalek beach movie came from that we did not get.
Oh, I don't think they do well on sand.
No,
They
No.
hate sand. It gets everywhere.
they hate sand.
Everyone hates
Yeah.
sand. If you're gonna do that, at least have a reason for the girl to be wearing a bikini in the movie. At least they didn't do it anyway and not give a reason, but still, that's just dumb.
Also, am I the only one kind of worried that that promo image seems to indicate that she wants to bang that Dalek?
I figured that she'd like scooped it out of there before that. And she was
Right.
just like mocking it. It's more of a picture of like, you know, when a hunter has its kill.
So they take the corpse and put on a bikini and straddle it.
You must not know a lot of
She was
football
wearing
stuff.
the bikini, but she murdered it, obviously. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
want to get Dalek smell on your clothes, Josh. Come on. Ugh.
I did want to mention that we only had one pro Dalek operator on set. Only one guy who had done it on the show. He tried to train the 9 others, but he was the only one who could control them that well.
I'm now picturing Dalek school.
Pretty much.
Okay, class. First you turn left, then right.
Some people need to go to Dalek school, though.
Now put your plunger on your hips.
I honestly don't know why they gave her nothing to do.
Yeah.
To be fair, they did nothing with Barbara in the first movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Barbara has less to do in the actual Dalek serial. Barbara does a lot in Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Yeah, she does. I don't know. It just seemed really weird that she
does.
was just there.
And they gave her a cool outfit.
Oh, yeah. I realized on the second watch through this that this movie is not Doctor Who. It is Escape the Bronx 2. Escape the London. Leave the Bronx! Leave the Bronx!
I'm going to assume this is a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing.
It is. It's a terrible movie, but it's pretty much about people being told to leave. And that's exactly what the Daleks are doing on the radio stuff.
Yeah.
Also, the music is really good in this. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
It is so 1960s. Like the Crumhorn guy needs to go and watch this so that he can see how you do themes for the bad guys, because the Robomen's theme is really good.
But you don't feel like we needed more Glockenspiel?
Well, I do like the Glockenspiel, to be honest with you, but this was super 60s and I loved it.
And you
Yeah.
don't have haunting Crumhorn in your ear.
I mean, how many movies have you sat down in front of and thought, man, this really needs a sound like a dying, distressed goose?
Well, you aren't the bananas and pajamas guy.
I also never thought that I was going to see the Doctor in a rubber gimp suit, but here we are.
Yes, we've got the Doctor in a rubber gimp suit. We've got Tom in a rubber gimp suit. Everyone gets a rubber gimp suit.
Fortunately, not Susan. That would be a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
nope.
no. Not this Susan, certainly.
Definitely not any Susan.
Yeah.
I do not want. I know she's 22, but like, she's playing a 16-year-old.
Yes.
Okay, what is the deal with the Rels? I noticed that a lot, and it was like, okay, this was not in the show.
So Rels are a form of Dalek measurement that, depending on where you're coming in, measures time, distance, radiation, all different sorts of things.
It's the sonic screwdriver of measurements.
Most frequently, at least now, it gets used to measure time.
Yeah. So it did crop up in a book before this movie came out, but
They made like a sort of,
Dialect Dictionary.
yeah,
Terry Nation and David Whitaker released the Dialect Dictionary about 2 years before this came out. But after this, Rels do not show up in the show until New Who.
specifically, Rels don't show up until I think 2008.
Yeah. Where it gets confusing is that prop that said Rels had been bouncing around movie and TV sets since the early 60s at this point, including Doctor Who a couple times. But that prop, before it came to this set, got that Rels sticker put on it. I can't figure out what movie or production, but when they got it, it had the Rels sticker on it.
So even though this movie did not invent Rels, the thing already said Rels, so they just ran with it.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So was this movie successful? And
No.
remind me why they didn't make a third one.
No, it was not successful.
Oh.
This one had a bigger budget. They spent £50,000 on promotion. They had a product placement deal with Sugar Puffs. I don't know if you noticed all the Sugar Puff posters and the boxes of Sugar Puffs all over in the movie, but they're there.
I absolutely did not. I am shocked. Also, I have no desire for Sugar Puffs.
And Sugar Puffs did like various promotions, like you could win a Dalek film prop. The Daleks were in Sugar Puffs commercials.
Eat your sugar pups or be exterminated.
That wasn't the question. The question was the third movie. This is where, yeah, it wasn't successful, but the director had the rights. He bought the rights to a third film, and that's where it gets weird. There's a couple different stories. The main one is they were going to make it on the chase because the movie didn't go well. It didn't happen, which is the simple one. Then there's the myth that came out in 2009 that they did make it and someone recovered a copy of it from a burned out church.
What?
I will post the link to that fake trailer.
Oh my God, there is a Release the Nation cut. How do I keep predicting things that I don't know?
You're clairvoyant.
In a not good way.
Oh, it's a good way.
Is that a kitty?
Mhm.
Oh,
He's being cranky.
oh, sorry, bud.
Hey, Eddie.
Hello.
Oh, see?
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Cranky.
He killed your video feed.
Yep.
Okay, so in 2009, this guy came out claiming to have.
And released a trailer. That trailer will be available on our site. You'll see that it could obviously not have been made in 1967.
Yeah.
The effects are nowhere near right, but that didn't help the rumors.
He didn't have a vacuum cleaner, is what you're saying.
The director kept trying because he kept the rights right through like the 80s, but he never managed to make his third film.
Oh, that's a shame.
What did happen, this is not the last time that Peter Cushing would play the Doctor. There was a radio play in the late 60s, and they wanted to get Boris Karloff to play the Doctor.
What? Why?
This was going to be an American production initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Boris Karloff is definitely what I think of when I think of Americans.
It was, however, not going to be about the Daleks.
No, only the pilot was recorded and that was lost, but the script was recovered, and I will link to the reconstruction someone released of that. Peter Cushing voices the Doctor. It has Susan as a child. It was written by Malcolm Hulke, who we know from the Silurians, and at least the pilot had them going back to the Revolutionary War.
Because God knows what I want is to see British writers in 1969 talk about the American Revolution and all of the slave owners boners, and I am terrified what that would have led to.
As I said, that was lost and the series never got made.
Yeah, I think that's a good note for us to go into scores. So, for those new to the podcast, at the end, we like to take our longer, more complicated thoughts and boil it down to a 1 to 4 Daleks ranking. Because this is an adaptation, just a reminder for you guys, we ranked the serial really damn high. Both Kari and I gave it 4 Daleks, Justin gave it 3.5 Daleks, and Zach gave it 3 Daleks, which is still pretty good. So, let's see how these scores live up. I will start us off, I guess. I have a lot of fun with it. I don't like it as much as the serial. I don't think it captures that same feeling that the serial manages to capture. This is a much goofier, sillier take on the material, but I do think it's a lot of fun, especially if you like seeing Daleks get flung through a wall.
And who doesn't?
Terrible people. Bad people. If you are on a first date, show him a Dalek getting flung through a wall, and if he doesn't laugh, then ditch him.
Good advice.
So I'm going to give it 3 Daleks. Zach, residential low rater, how do you judge?
So this one is more consistent in tone than the previous Dalek movie. Also, yeah, it's lighter. It doesn't tackle nearly as many issues as the serial did, but that's not a bad thing. This Doctor Who isn't that type of character. Characters are well done, stories fine, but I'll go 2.5.
Still went down.
That's
okay.
low. Okay.
Put that at about average.
I don't want to give it as much as I gave the serial, even though I like it for different reasons. I feel
you can
that
give it as much as you gave the serial.
They're different products.
Yeah.
Fine. I've been persuaded. I will give it 3 Daleks.
Okay. Kari.
Well, I was going to give it 3, but then I remember that hilarious scene where the Daleks goes through the wall like the Kool-Aid man. So I got to give that a 3.5, man.
All right. That's respectable. Justin, better, worse, or the same?
I'm sticking with 3.5.
Okay.
I liked it. Like you said, they're two different things. I think that what it gained made up for what it lost. Mostly it lost kind of that somber tone, which I personally don't think was that well executed in their serial. So I didn't miss it that much.
All right.
So same score.
Okay. So that brings us to the end of the podcast. If you liked us, check out our website, Daleksaren'tRobots.com. Check out our YouTube page. Check out our Twitter and Facebook. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're on Buzzsprout, download us at the podcast places. I do not like
Do
doing this
the
part.
thing. Do all the things.
Maybe you could pre-record it, Josh.
I should just pre-record it. Anyway, next time, though, if you don't like a somber tone, that's okay, because we're jumping back to the very silly modern era of Doctor Who, or I guess I should say 2005 era, as the Doctor goes on an adventure with Charles Dickens in The Unquiet Dead.
Oh no. Oh no. Josh, did I ever tell you that I started going to productions of A Christmas Carol when I was age 3 and went to at least one every year until I was 30?
I think you have told me, but you haven't told our listeners that, so.
Oh no. Oh, this is gonna really hurt, isn't it?
It might.
Oh.
But until then, everyone remember to feed your TARDIS and reinforce your walls so that Daleks don't come crashing through them.
Unless you want
Thanks.
that, they could sing to you about Christmas.
I was just thinking they'd go, oh yeah, like the Kool-Aid man.
So do you think the red Dalek then is the
Cherry.
It's the cherry.
It's obviously
what's
cherry.
What was silver and black Kool-Aid?
Purplesaurus Rex.
Purplesaurus Rex. Yeah, that's fair.
Just poison.
Yeah, you're drinking Windex. Maybe you should knock it off.
Mercury.
There was a blue one. There was a bluish one. I remember it was.
That's like blue raspberry.
Yeah, I don't think it was though. It was some weird flavor.
This is for our Kool-Aid review podcast.
This is for the
soon.
Kool-Aid. Yeah, check that out.
The Kool-Aid retrospective.
I miss Purplesaurus Rex, and they should bring it back. That's my hill to die on.
Hashtag bring back Purplesaurus Rex.
Hashtag release the nation cut.
Daleks are going to extract the metallic core of the Earth. Some insane idea of piloting the planet and using it like a giant spaceship.
But that's impossible.
Maybe.